On the last episode, we talked about the best of DBZ figures, but now we'll be looking at something more interesting in terms of the history of the figures for this series goes. In episode 1, I brought up a little series called Ranma 1/2, but as far as it goes, not a lot of merchandise was made, only spanning plushes, keychains, statues, and other miscellaneous obscure pieces. With all of the type of stuff, you would think there would be a normal regular figure of these characters back in the day. And sadly, there wasn't. Of course, today we have those awesome looking SH Figure Arts figures of the characters, but those didn't come out until January 2016. But little did we know, outside of Japan, somewhere in Spain, there were action figures being made illegally. And that's where I step in to take a look at these coveted figures. I'm Mario, and today we'll be taking a look at the Spanish Ranma 1/2 bootleg 8-inch figures. Now, what do we know about these figures besides them being released in Spain? Well, as far as I know, they made 3 characters, being Boy Ranma, Girl Ranma, and Ryoga. Each stand at 8 inches tall and don't seem to come with anything. As far as the box goes, it looks like one of those standard bootlegs you see in those Chinatown stores. Pretty basic if you ask me. There's even writing on the boxes that say this: every time he is covered with water, he becomes a girl, and when he is covered with hot water, he changes back into a boy again. Ranma 1/2, our hero, lives in the Rumic world with an exciting cast of characters. His fiancée Akane, along with friends Panda, Shampoo, Haposide, and rival Ryoga, all contribute to the Ranma 1/2 adventures. Rumic world? That's not even how you spell it, it's Rumic. As for the back of the box, it says the exact same thing along with some stolen art. Now, let's move on to the figures themselves. Let's start the lineup with boy type Ranma first. Well, how do I approach this figure? For starters, this Ranma figure looks absolutely perfect. His colors, his design, it even has a picture of what they went off when making the figure. In fact, this Ranma is more accurate looking to the PS1 game Ranma 1/2 Battle Renaissance. Look at this. This is like the picture on the game box was made into a figure. Now sadly, I don't have pictures of him out of the box nor the back of him. For his articulation, it's just his arms go up and down. That's it. So it's much more of a statue figure than an action figure. Now, how common or rare is this figure, you ask? Well, do I have an answer for you? Impossible. Yep, this figure has only been for sale once since this one sold. I also don't know a price for him since I can't see how much it sold for, so let's move on. Of course, with a figure line like Ranma 1/2, it's crazy not to make a figure of girl type Ranma, so here's the girl Ranma. Now here's where definitely something went wrong during this set. For some reason, girl Ranma is the worst looking one in the set. Yeah, that's a huge shame. How did this happen? Who knows? Now, a while back on eBay, I remember 2 of these figures being up for sale, but for the longest time I forgot about them and never bought them. Not until recently, that is. So here's the girl Ranma up close on camera. This is one of the 2 figures I bought. Now we can look at what's wrong with this figure. For starters, why is his neck orange? That's so unnecessary. And what's with this outfit? It's not even correct to what he even wears. Well, looking back at the box again, I could see what they went off, but didn't do it correctly. But the thing that is really off on this figure is that Ranma has boots on. Why? This makes the figure taller than the rest of the figures in the line. On the back of the figure, they have screws. So a back view of the figure doesn't look good at all. Oh yes, as you can see here, along with getting the Ranma, I got Ryoga, one that I had no idea existed until I saw it on eBay. With that said, the girl Ranma is taller than Ryoga, which is not correct. You see, the height scale for the 3 characters goes like this. Ranma and Ryoga are the same height, while girl Ranma is smaller than the both of them, not the other way around. So this makes Ranma and Ryoga look perfect together, while girl Ranma stands out on his own. Alright, let's look at the last one in the set, and personally my favorite one, Ryoga. If it weren't for Bandai making a SH Figure Arts of Ryoga, this would be the only figure of Ryoga out there. Now that's something to think about. In my opinion, I think this looks way cooler than the SH Figure Arts one. He's more unique in a way and has a very cool pose. There's literally nothing wrong with this Ryoga figure. Well, my only complaint for the figure are so minor that you wouldn't even notice it while looking at it. I think his eyes are a little cross-eyed but doesn't look that bad. It gives him a unique expression. For his articulation, he can only move his arms around and that's it. And the last complaint that I have is that they didn't paint the ears all the way to the back of the other side of the plastic, and of course the screws on the back. Well, that's pretty much all of them, I think. I have no idea if they made any more characters in the set like Akane or Shampoo. To my extent, this has not been documented at all, so more stuff can appear in the future. And sadly, this is where the video ends. I could only talk about so much about these without any information besides what I have gathered. So with that said, thanks for watching episode 3 of Bootleg Bomb. I hope you enjoyed and stay tuned for episode 4 of Bootleg Bomb.